What's a good vocal exercise?
It's like super. It's like because I trained with this guy that trained Andrew Bocelli and Whitney Houston, and it's like these exercises are super aggressive.
I should start doing vocal exercises.
That's all I'll give you.
Do it right now.
You know, it's super weird. My boyfriend one time I was doing, he was like, you have to give me warnings before you do that shit. Okay. Fa fa fa. And your voice is supposed to crack. It sounds like it's aggressive.
Oh, that's like you're
it's like fa, e, and then boo. So, yeah. But like, you have to hold it like this, like hold your fa, like,
fa.
But like relax. And
Fa.
So you do, and then do like egg, like and then aw. And then the last one is boo.
That was the hardest one for me.
Yeah. So then, hi.
The dog.
Do you notice the difference? Like
yeah,
it sounds.
Scared the dog away.
I know.
Do you do that before stand-up?
Sometimes if I have like a big show, but typically it's only like in the morning because like when I go on the road, I have to do radio like 6 a.m.
Yeah.
You know, so I do that before I do radio.
So you don't sound like shit.
Yeah, and then I do it before when I record my podcast. I do it before.
I want to start the episode out with that, just to annoy the shit out of everyone. They'll be like, what
Are you recording?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to jump right into it.
Cool.
I'll add an intro later.
Sweet.
But we're with Vanessa Johnston.
Hi.
And thanks for doing the pod today.
My pleasure.
I want to tell you everything I know about you.
Oh, okay, cool.
Sentence.
Sweet.
This is what I know about you. You're from Minnesota, and you're a comedian, and you were on America's Next Top Model.
Wow, that last part is supposed to be a secret, but yeah.
Is that something you don't tell people?
No.
That's not part of you don't talk about that?
No.
That's all I got when I Googled you.
Oh, okay.
I got like a local newspaper article about you.
That's funny.
And then I was reading it, and I was like, I feel kind of stalkerish.
That is stalkery-ish.
Yeah. That I know that you were on a TV show, so.
I mean, yeah, that was released around the world. Yeah, no, I did.
Do they still do that show?
I think so.
It's on like Bravo now or something?
I don't know. I got recruited for it, so I didn't even apply to the show.
Where'd they find you?
On Facebook. Yeah, they found me on Facebook, and they were like, hey, we have a show. You don't have to do the auditions. We're going to skip you right to like the final callback. And so I didn't even want to do it. And then my dad talked me into it.
Really?
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, it'd be a good experience, and whatever. What do you have to lose?" And I was like, "I don't know. I think probably a lot." So then when they're like, "Okay, they're like, we're gonna give it to you. Here's this paperwork. It's like 200 pages of just selling your soul away. Like, you can turn me into the worst human.
Just manipulate you.
Yeah, they're like, we can make you. It's like literally like verbatim. Like, we can make you look like however we want. You can't sue us. You know what I mean? Complete character defamation, like all this stuff. And I was just like, this.
And they do that like sound clipping where they'll just literally put words together that you've said.
Yeah.
And make something up.
That's what they did to me.
I watch The Bachelor. I like to do recaps. And whenever I don't see something come out of someone's mouth in an extended clip, if there's an edit or a 2-shot or over the shoulder, I'm like, they didn't say it.
Right.
As far as I'm concerned, they didn't say that.
Yeah. Like that's basically what happened to me. And so when I and I didn't even want to like do the paperwork. I was just like, and the producers, the production company, made me go to a Starbucks and sit down and do the paperwork because I was just like not doing it.
They really didn't want. Well, that's they clearly liked you.
Yeah, they're like they had a plan, dude. They had a plan for me.
And how did it go? How long were you on it?
One episode because so I'll tell you. And so I got there and I'm like, okay, if I'm doing this, I'm gonna be America's sweetheart. I want to be nice to everybody. I'm gonna get along with everyone. It's gonna be great. So that's what was happening during the first week. An episode's filmed over a week, and so everything was great. And I was nice to everyone, and I was friends. Some girls would try to be mean to me, but I was like, no, like I'm not gonna play a part of this game, you know.
Yeah.
3 days in, the producers pull me aside and are like, hey, we casted you for personality. And I was like, what does that mean? Like, like not my face. Like, I don't know if I should take that as an insult or a compliment.
Well,
like,
either
you're not pretty enough to be just on your looks, or your personality. We thought it was gonna be so dope. And I was like, they're like, you need to turn up your personality, otherwise you're gonna get kicked off. And I was just like, And they're like,
is that an insult?
We want you to be a bitch. And I was just like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I want to be president someday. This is back in, circa 2010.
That's a good way to start your presidency.
I was like, yeah, exactly. So they're like,
we take reality stars as presidents.
100%.
That's a perfect start.
Exactly. They're like, she's making her way up the top.
So you had to turn up the bitch.
But I refused to. And so they got upset at me, and they're like, well, if you don't, we're going to kick you off. And I was just like, I don't care. And so anyway, when I told them I was not going to do that, when you're on this type of reality show, they put you in a room to do interviews. And basically all that is when you see them do inserts on a show of like a person in a room, they're just talking to the camera. That's like the interview section. At the end of every day, they put all the talent in a room individually, and they just talk to a camera about their day. And then that's when they use those clips. The confessional, exactly.
Real world stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So typically girls go in there by themselves. They don't put anyone in there because girls just give what they want. For me, they made me go in with a dude who like fed me questions that I had to repeat in my answer. So like, for example, they were like, hey, were you the rich bitch in high school? Make sure you repeat the question and the answer. I'm like, was I the rich bitch in high school? Then they cut out, I was the rich bitch in high school. When my answer was, I grew up in middle America in a white suburb. Like everyone was a rich bitch.
Minnesota, you're all white.
Yeah, I grew up in a suburb. It's like no, there was like compared to everywhere else. And my answer was very humble, but they cut out the one thing. So when the episode aired, I was like, everyone's like, you're going to be America's sweetheart. It's going to be so dope. And it came out, I was like, America's evil villain bitch cunt. Oh my
gosh, you were the bitch cunt.
Yeah, dude. There was like Reddit forums. Like, Vanessa's so cocky. And I was like, what, dude? It was
also,
the worst.
Here's the problem that happens is people don't want to like attractive people.
Yeah,
so there's like the one type of attractive, which is like the kind of blonde, wholesome. I think that's more likable to people off the bat than someone with darker hair and features. Like Tasha, my girlfriend Tasha has the dark eyebrows and you know what I mean? And like if she's thinking about what she wants to order on a menu, I'm always like, why do you look like you want to kill somebody? And she's like, this is me. You know what I mean? Like, it's like there's something.
She's like, I have resting kill face.
She has resting kill face, and so they pulled the bitch cunt out of you, and that's too. So now with stand up, you have the ultimate control, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, but it's funny that 100%. Like, I mean, that's part of the reason why I was so attracted to stand up was having complete autonomy, talking about whatever I wanted to talk about, and then just like being myself. Because I think as an actor, I didn't really have any interest because I was a working actor for a couple of years. I was on a couple TV shows and I did a movie, and I just didn't really have any interest in like being other people.
I definitely lose respect for actors. Being in stand-up now, because I started with acting as well, I look at actors and I go, oh, that's so fucking easy what you have to do.
You have a very CW face.
I do?
Yeah.
Nice. That's what I'm marketing myself. Yeah. I'm like 10 years. A dude the other night that I know told me I looked weathered, and it has fucked my week up.
You're like, great character acting. Here I come.
I was doing like the Korean face mask last night. I was like, I gotta step up the coconut oil game.
Were you at a Korean spa?
No, we was doing it here.
Oh, okay.
We've got a whole bunch of we did Korean barbecue this weekend though.
Yeah,
this
me
is
too.
like, oh, did you do Korean barbecue?
Uh-huh.
That shit'll fuck you up, man. I have to go like a month without meat, I think.
Oh, really?
Oh, just the shit because we had family in town. My sister's mom and brother, and you see our place. They stayed like right here.
Right.
That's why the dog's so sad, because they left and like we were all kind of like denned up together, and dogs love that when there's like he's like sleeping on the air mattress with my brother-in-law or whatever.
He's like, I'm glad I'm not the only one that sleeps on the couch.
Yeah, so we had literally just scattered bodies everywhere. But yeah, we had to do all the touristy stuff. So we did Little Tokyo, Koreatown, a bunch of different things like that. Yeah, which we never do. I don't know.
No one knows the difference between any of those cities.
It's all the same to me. It's all just like something.
That was an Asian joke. Okay.
Yeah. Anyway, so immediately you do the America's Next. How long ago was it? Like 5 years ago?
No, 8 years.
8 years ago.
Yeah.
Wow. So you've been in LA for a while then.
8 years.
You moved to, so that was like one of the, that was like,
I got casted 2 weeks into being here.
Wow.
Yeah, I was going to film school.
What a way to shit on you, like by like manipulating you like that.
I was like 18, fucking fresh, wide-eyed and bushy-tailed.
But that's what they do. They have to get new people that will play the game.
Oh,
like
sure.
my girlfriend, she works in modeling, but there's so many jobs she just refuses to do. That she won't even like. She's like, I'm not going to be some bimbo. Like she knows when she's being taken advantage of 3 steps before because she's been there. She's been in those positions where like you show up and then you're trying to not be a bitch and you're on the job and you're like trying to play along, but you're like, this is fucking bullshit.
Well. So before I even did Top Model, I got scouted by Wilhelmina, which is one of the top modeling agencies in the world. And so they offered me a contract. And then America's Next Top Model thing started moving forward, and I wasn't allowed to sign with any agencies. And so I had to postpone signing with them. And then when I got off Top Model, then I signed with Wilhelmina. And I was going out, and I was like a model for 6 months, and I was just like, "This is not my steez, dude." Because it takes
away the strength of wit, charm.
You're not a human. You're a moving. You're a walking clothes hanger.
It whittles you down to like whatever you look like in a photo, which is fine, but it takes away the kind of the charisma of what you offer aside from your looks. But
right. Well, it's not even just like it's most. I think. The problem with modeling is not necessarily modeling itself. It's the people in modeling, like the fucking, even the makeup artists, like are really mean to models for some reason. Like they like to make them insecure. There's for some reason a lot of the people in the fashion world like get off on these beautiful young girls being insecure and having eating disorders. They like make them feel guilty for eating strawberries. You're just like, what, dude?
I was on set for this shoot that Tasha did, and I never go. Whatever. But it was like a Saturday. We were going out for drinks after, and they were trying to get her to do this topless shoot, and she's done like implied stuff, and she's definitely done whatever she likes. She'll do what she wants to do. But when someone tells her what to do, and they were like trying to coerce her into doing something, but like in the nicest kind of like way, like they knew that they needed her to be topless to boost what they were trying to get, but she gets nothing out of it. It's very much like this lecherous thing, and I think with acting, modeling, stand-up, you get like the Hunger Games is built into the framework of what we do. You get like people that you would probably be fine if they worked some normal corporate job, but because you're in this world, you get the shittiest of people. Like Hollywood does bring out like the shittiness of people.
Well, I've had this conversation with a couple people just about LA in general, and there's definitely a lot of different cliques. I mean, there's some people in entertainment, like filmmaking, because I have a TV movie background. Like I worked in development for a couple years at HBO, and I was a working actor. And so there's definitely people in the film business, especially that are really good. Like the Quentin Tarantinos and the whatever. All those like Michael Bay is like I know him and he's a great guy. And there's a lot of guys and women who are very talented, very humble, very good people. And I think that the cream rises to the top, and when you get to that top echelon of humans in every industry, they tend to be really nice, good people. Like in comedy, for example, Bill Burr, I think, is one of the best comics. He's one of the nicest, down-to-earth humans. I mean, I've seen him at open mics. Joey Diaz is another one, like, great guy. Like, I see him at open mics. Joey Diaz
is the fourth wall, right?
Yeah, he does the fourth wall all the time. I was there a couple weeks ago, and he
must murder.
He does 5 minutes. He pays to do 5 minutes, and, like, Bill Burr, I know, like, was at a mic one time, and
really?
he was at this like a couple years ago. He was at this mic. It was like a 5-minute mic, and he like 6 minutes because they didn't light him. We're not letting Bill Burr at this mic at this coffee shop. And Bill stopped at like 6 minutes. He's like, "Hey, how much time am I done?" And we're like, "Dude, you can do however much." He was like, "No." He's like,
"Dude, I don't fucking."
He's like, "I'm good enough. I know you guys waited a long time for this. Thank you so much for your time." So he like fucking got off. You know what I mean? But then you see these comics that are like. And the cream rise to the top, like those top people do are fucking cool and nice. And then you see these people who are like in the middle or even like some younger people, and they're so mean and like for example, like this roast battle thing. I've seen some comics get like roast battle, and then now all of a sudden they have this like huge ego and they're just dicks to everybody. And you're just like, why, dude? Like,
it's interesting what a little bit of this industry will show you what.
Well, then they come out. Then you're like, oh, this is who you are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then people see that, and then those people don't get very far. You know what I mean? The people who achieve a little bit of success and they're fucking cool and likable and people enjoy being around them, they keep going up. I think they grow, they go up. The people that show you like, oh, you're a fucking asshole.
You know what's crazy to me is I meet a lot of people and they go, one question that goes, oh, who's your favorite comedian? Not like probably 75% of the people I tell Bill Burr, they don't know who he is.
Yeah,
and it blows my mind.
You need to have better friends. That's what I took away from that. These aren't
even like my friends. These are just like people I'll meet, out and about.
You need to meet better people.
Yeah, and I'm like, go on Netflix and just Bill Burr anything or YouTube anything you want, and it's gold. Like the dude is so amazing. Yeah. My problem when I do solo episodes is like try not to sound like Bill Burr. You always try to sound like the people you love. Like for a while there, everyone was sounding like Dane Cook. Like several years ago, you had like these dudes doing, and it's just emulation. Like it's something you love, and you kind of absorb. Like naturally, we reflect that of which we like.
Well, even Chris D'Elia was cited for basically being Dane Cook on stage for like a couple years. And then Tommy, who is the old talent coordinator at the Comedy Store, was like, hey, you're trying to be like this energetic thing. And so Tommy would put him at like the very end. This is when D'Elia had been doing stand-up for like 5 years and was past the store. They would put D'Elia on at like 1 a.m. in front of like 6 people in the OR, and he couldn't do that. He had to just be real and become authentic, and he kind of like grew out of his like Dane imitation phase and now is like a D'Elia. But
now it's a good place to start. I mean, I don't know. Who do you think your comedy stylings are like?
I think when I started, it's so weird. Bill Hicks was like my biggest comedy influence. When I started stand-up, I didn't really know comedians. I didn't even know stand-up was like a thing. So I came in at a blank slate.
Yeah, how did you make the decision to get on stage?
This dude brought me to a comedy festival called Oddball on a date. This was in like 2012, 2013. Yeah, 2000.
In LA?
Yeah, in LA.
Yeah, it's a huge festival, so that's all heavy
Oddball.
Hitters. Yeah, Oddball's huge.
Yep. And I saw D'Elia, and I was like, oh, this is like a thing. People do this. I didn't know stand-up existed.
Wow.
And I was just like, whoa. Like, because I was on the debate team in high school and the speech team, and I was like, if you look at me on like Instagram or like, I think social media, you're like, this dumb, pretty whore. But like, no, I know. Like,
that should be your first album.
Yeah.
This dumb, pretty whore.
Dumb, pretty whore.
Can I name the title of this episode?
Sure, go for it, dude. Dumb, pretty whore. No, but you do. I mean, it's like, but I'm a fucking, like, I'm wearing like an AP chemistry. I mean, like, look at this shit. Like, it's like, what does it say? AP chemistry, like 2008 or something.
Convert to moles.
Yeah, it's a science joke.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah, I didn't get it.
It's like I'm a fucking, like, I'm a loser. I mean, not a loser, but it's like, I'm this, like
People can't see that, though.
No, I think a lot, and I have opinions, and I was just like, but I never to say it to anybody. So I was like, oh, I could like do this as like a thing. That'd be cool. And so,
do you think people weren't wanting to listen to you?
I think
like
people,
were dudes like if you met a dude, went on a date, like does he even care what you have to say, or is that just like a trope?
I think now because from doing stand up, which I think that's why stand up is one of like the best things a woman can do, because you learn how to have your own voice and like command an audience, and you learn that you're worth listening to. I think definitely when I was younger, I had issues. Even in school though, like I was always quiet in the back. Like I had thoughts and opinions and like jokes in my head, but I'd never say it. I was very like quiet in the corner.
I was actually the same way. I was what we call like football huddle funny. So like we would on the football team, normally the guy who's like the loudest got the laughs or whatever. It was like that, and I was never that guy. But I would say something under my breath, and someone would laugh, and you'd be like, "Oh, okay, maybe like my thing is just shitting on other things, but like in a way that's dismissive." But until you get on stage or have that mic and that focus on you, you almost don't even know you're saying funny shit. You're just picking out like bullshit as you see it. So a lot of times that can get lost. Especially, I feel like for women. I mean, you've got society. It's taking a shift, but really trying to get women to be dainty and not have some crass opinions about things.
Oh, I mean, dude, the list. Okay, first of all, when I first started stand up, like just for your listeners because they can't see me, like I definitely don't. I look like I wouldn't be doing stand up. I think that's kind of the general, not right now because I have no makeup on. I look like a little Asian boy, but
great.
like with makeup on, like I fucking clean up. Okay. I'm a Maybelline 10.
Because in LA with stand up, you get a lot of agents and managers that tell models and actresses, you should try stand up.
Oh, that's like a new thing, I feel like, in the last like 2 years.
Well,
and
it's even like
fuck
this,
those people.
Yeah, this time of year. So it's pilot season right now. So you just get a bunch of people that moved out and they're like, I'll rattle off some jokes, and anyone can rattle off a joke, but it's
right. And a lot of those girls get dudes writing for them. Like that's what makes me angry. Like I see some of these recently, because when I first started 3 years ago, there was like 2 or 3 girls that were considered, I guess, like kind of attractive that were like new to the stand-up scene, that were like writing and doing comedy. And then in the last like year and a half, there's been like this influx of just all these beautiful women, and they don't even write their own material. They hire male comics to write their stuff for them. And it made me so angry when I was just like, fuck these bitches. Like I didn't even take tags the first 2 years of comedy. Oh yeah. Yeah, I didn't take people come here, I have a tag. I'm like, no, I don't take tags. Like well,
there's a pride there to be like, that's my, like I love when stand-up specials you see written and directed by Bill Burr, and it's like it's obvious, not directed but written, but it's like, oh, that's a really cool credit to be like the next hour you see is something that this person wrote.
Well, not only that, it's like if you want to be a creator of comedy, how can you have a career in comedy if you don't know how to write comedy because you've been leaning on people your entire existence? You know what I mean? So yeah, but going back to like how being a woman and starting stand up, like definitely when I first started, like I would get I think being depending on how you go about it, because I see some attractive women that start stand up and it's like they have the easiest time. Like by like 6 months, they're like at the Laugh Factory and getting on these huge shows, and like guys they're having dudes write for them.
And dudes who produce shows are like, I want that chick with
because she has 100,000.
There's one chick with huge tits right now.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's doing stand up.
I'm on a show with her tonight at the Laugh Factory. By the way, she's nice and she's smart, and I actually like her. But she started in a comedy class and then went into comedy and has people write for her and whatever.
I give people the benefit. I asked she was on a friend's show this week, and I asked him like, how'd she do? Because I'm not gonna. I want like, how did she do? I've only seen photos of this chick, and I go, wow, she's gonna. And then he was like, oh, she roasted the audience, and it was a small crowd. And okay, cool.
Yeah.
Like I'll give everyone's welcome. We do put up the brick wall, like, oh, you're not one of us. But the only way to get past that is just with time. I mean, you've done it for 3 years now. Like I've done it for 6 years. I was a year in when I got my first job opening on the road for somebody, and in hindsight, there was a million people that deserved it more than me, but I got it, and you take it, and then when it's over. It's over, and it feels like for me, it felt like a step backwards, but it wasn't. It was a step backwards from performing in front of like gigantic crowds, but those weren't my crowds anyway. So when I get back, how long
did you open for the same person for a while?
I used to open for Craig Shoemaker for like, I did probably just 100 shows, on and off, but like we'd go, travel, and he's got you probably don't even know him. Do you?
No, I think I do.
Because he doesn't do like the club circuit here. He's been
a road dog
headliner for like 30 years. Okay. So I had to learn how to set the table for him. Really do, he had specific things, clean, which in hindsight, everything he asked me was good to learn. But by all means, I wasn't getting to do like whatever I wanted. No crowd work, clean, go up there, do, whatever he wanted.
Oh shit. They had like rules.
Yeah. Because he's done it for so long. He's like, this is what I want. I mean, I could sneak a swear in or two, but like I had to kind of stay away from.
See, that sucks. You're like having to make your comedy for your dude. That's who I'm like, who I've been kind of like opening for recently this month. Like we kind of have similar comedy styles. So it's been nice. Like he doesn't try to like tell me to like change my comedy. He gives me more like, be authentic, be real. Like sometimes like we did the improv this past week, and he was like, oh, like I feel like you're lying on stage, and I was just like, oh shit, that's fucking deep, you know what I mean?
That's great.
He's like, you're lying, go in there and be yourself. And he's like, I don't care if, he's like, go there, and he's like, it doesn't matter if you fail, just go up there and like tell the truth, because he's like, you're fucking lying. And I was just like, oh god, okay, like I don't.
And then how did the next set go?
Well, that set that I did that night, like I was at the Irvine Improv, and it was like 600. Oh, it was like 500 people, and I had like, when I did that, it was weird because when I got off stage, there was like 15 people outside, like standing in line waiting to like talk to me and like get my contact to follow me on Instagram. And it was like mostly women, which is like kind of what I'm writing my comedy for now, is like young women. And they cited the parts where I deviated and it was like just telling the truth. They're like, oh, like that part. And I was like, wow. Oh, okay, so he was right. You know, and
it's tough to have that perspective from the stage. You're getting on stage, your adrenaline's pumping. So there's this like fight or flight mentality, but you have to like play it cool, go slow, and then also
like riff. And just because that's like, he was like, just be truthful. And so I was like riffing. And it's so scary as a young comic. Well, it's just like all these factors, you know, like, first of all, the person that like I was doing the show with, like I really, really respect. Like he's super, super funny. And I mean, like where people like, just like, he's so talented. Like, for example, in the main room, like I saw him like in the main room a couple weeks ago, and Dalia got on stage after him and said he was afraid to follow him on stage.
Yeah.
Like he's just so talented. And so I really respect his comedy. And I think, you know, I definitely get insecure about, okay, I have to kill this time. I have to do like the best. And so like at the same time being like, I need to do my polished material that's like 2 months old, but like,
where he probably just doesn't care at all.
He does care. He doesn't care.
I'm saying he doesn't worry about following you. And I don't mean
right.
no disrespect.
He's
a pro. So
he thinks it doesn't matter for him. Like he thinks he's so good, which is just true. He is really funny. Like, you know, in his mind, it doesn't matter. But at the same time, yeah, no, that's right. Maybe that's what it is. But in my head, I still get like insecure, like, oh, I have to like crush. But then he's like, stop, like you're in your head, like get out, you know what I mean? Take risks. And I'm just like, I'm not in a place to be taking risks. I literally don't want to take risks right now.
I love when I've heard so many stories of headliners telling their opening act to just be like, don't say anything you've ever said before. You know, and then you got to go up there like, and you know, you find stuff, and it's tough. Yeah, it's tough because in LA, we're so hyper focused on like every set matters.
Yeah, it's like a showcase set.
I'm doing the Sycamore tonight, and it's like that's show. That place is built.
I'll be there tonight.
Oh, you'll be there?
Yeah, after my show, The Factory, I go there all the time.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I haven't been there since like TK Matterson had a show there. I don't know if you know him.
Yeah, I've never done a show, but
it looks like they've turned it into a decent room.
Yeah, it's cool.
But it's like, is it a workout room? Yes. But am I allowed to work things out? Me, as probably one of the lesser comics on the list, it's like, I don't even know anymore. Like, that's why it's crazy when guys like Joey Diaz, who's one of the funniest people in the world, goes to an open mic just so he can tinker with something he's not yet ready to do at the Comedy Store, which is supposed to be the professional open mic.
It was so funny because I've only done Fourth Wall once when Joey was there, and this was a couple weeks ago. And I was going to work out all new. I was like in a zone of like, kind of like what you're saying, say stuff you'd never said on stage before, just like be in the moment. I've been working this thing, and I was about to do that. And right before I go on stage, I look back and I saw that Joey was behind me, and I was like, fuck, dude, I'm not riffing in front of Joey Diaz. Like, no way.
Because he'll remember if you do something memorable, he'll be like, dude, this fucking cocksucker. Like,
so I went up there and did this material that's like my new like opening bit. It's like, you know, 5 minutes, and it's about like makeup. And I did it because he had to go up after me, and I did it, and it was, I mean, like crushed. And then he got on stage and he said, it was like, it still gives me like goosebumps. He said, and it kind of sounds like misogynistic, but I was like, oh, he was like, this is the first time in 27 years I've been nervous to follow a woman.
Wow.
I was like, oh.
Misogyny is funny because if it's a misogyny is always a compliment to the person getting catcalled, but it's not a compliment to the women as a collective.
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
I mean? So it's like it's a huge compliment to you and a big fuck you to women. No, but he is a guy that I would trust. Is such a genuinely nice dude. Yeah, because then I went to the store like after that spot, and he was there, and I was at the back bar. He was like, "Hey, you're fucking funny," and like, because I was on Kill Tony for a year. I don't know if you know that. Yeah. And Tony was back there and was like, what? And then he was like, she was on Kill Tony. He's like, yeah, she's fucking funny. And I was like, I love you. And I'd be like, bottling this up. Thank you very much. Can you just say that? Like, can you just record? Can I record that and put it on the internet? I'm going to save that video, please. Can I have Joey Diaz being like, it was hard first time in 27 years. We live off of affirmations. And it's funny because my lady isn't we struggle with our love languages. We dive into love languages on this podcast. And what's your love language and what's hers? Well, I love affirmations. She needs quality time. She probably needs other things as well, and I probably need other things, but I get I get a lot of quality time with her because she needs it. So that's easy for me.
At least it's not like gifts or something.
Gifts, not big gifts.
I mean, for her, because like mine's words of affirmation as well. And the dude that I've been going on the like opening for this past month, his girlfriend is gifts, and he's
really
like affirmation or something.
So she needs gifts from him.
Yeah,
like purses and things.
Yeah.
Really?
And so he's always upset about it. That's like literally half our conversation.
I wonder if she needs the actual material or just the idea someone.
She's not a comic. She's just a model.
No, I mean material. Like, does she need the actual purse material or the idea that he's out there thinking of her? You know what I mean? It's gonna be very tough for women and men in general to be dating someone who's on the road. Like, do you have a boyfriend right now?
Yeah.
And so your boyfriend has to. And I don't mean to put this on him, but he has to deal with the fact that you're going to be on the road with a male comedian.
Right.
And, dealing with, you're basically on stage flirting. We're all on stage flirting. We're trying to get the approval of the audience, whether we're flirting with the man. I'll take anyone's affirmations, but is he okay with that? Is that a struggle?
Yeah, no, he's great, but he's in the comedy community. So he understands it. Yeah. He's very understanding, and he's very self, I don't know the word, confident. He's like not, I don't know what the word is. Stud. He's very like, has like good self-esteem. He's like, okay,
It takes a while to get, with my relationship, my girlfriend's going to Mexico for 4 days for this Bud Light festival. She's going with the company, and she was like, should I go? It's like, and I was like, yeah, go. Like, but like back in the day, I'd be like, oh shit, she's going to be partying with, and she isn't a partier. She's going to be exhausted from it. She's such an introvert, but she's got this like, I was like, you need it. You need to go. It's good for your social media. It's good for you to just get out, go be with some girls, go make some friends. Like, I have to push her to go do the things that I know are good for her.
How long have you been dating?
4 years.
Yeah. See, my dude's kind of like that too, where it's like, I don't feel like going on the road right now, or I don't feel like doing this. And he's like, no, you have to go do it. And I'm just like, me.
Yeah. And maybe you need, like, I don't know, maybe you need to know that he's supporting that you go do that. So at least you're not on the road.
Well, he gets mad at me if I don't go, because he's a really big booker. And so it's like he doesn't respect comics that aren't out grinding every night. And so it's like
putting together who you're dating.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Or maybe I'm not. I don't know.
He runs Juice now.
Oh, no, I don't know then.
Oh,
okay, good. This is good for me. I don't know who it is.
Yeah.
I mean, it's good that he understands the industry and all that.
Yeah, he's been in it like for like 5 years, and he was a manager at the Comedy Store, and then he booked like Def Jam for a while.
Wow.
He's really like smart and understands comedy, and he's great taste in comics. Like, he's turning Juice around, and Juice is like going to get popular again. And
have you dated? Because you moved from the Midwest, from the like parts of the country that are just nice people, to LA, and really have only been here your adult life. How were you molded with your dating life coming from Minnesota, where like dudes will probably do anything for you, versus out here, which is like men are kind of just like looking after themselves a little more?
Well, my childhood was very abnormal. Like, my mom, I didn't grow up in like a typical Midwestern family, and so it was very chaotic. My dad owns a debt collections company, and like is very like
what?
A debt collections company.
Debt collections. Okay.
Yeah, he's a lawyer, and like
they called me.
He's never said I love you to me. Like, I'll be like, I love you. He'd be like, yeah, okay.
Really?
So, and then my mom has clinical schizophrenia. She was in a mental ward most of my life.
Are they together?
Yeah, they're still married. Just because they're so dysfunctional, they can't get a divorce. Like, they don't have, they like wouldn't be able to get a divorce just because they don't have their like life together. So, but both my parents are very smart. They're both like really talented. They both were opera singers like in college, and
so you all just do the voice exercises before dinner
together. We're like, all right, family vocal exercise, let's go. Christmas carols. We didn't send Christmas cards. We sent Christmas videos. No, that's not true.
Were they religious?
Yeah.
Are they religious?
Yeah. This is my dad's like, he's like, oh, there has to be a something, but it's all from like an academic, like, like, oh, like something's never created from nothing, and like the movement to start has to be pushed. Like, he's very like that. My mom, is just like, Jesus will take care of everything. So yeah, they're super religious, but my parents had like a very turbulent relationship. my dad never really respected my mother. He didn't treat her well. And so I was kind of like used to that, I think. But my mom's a strong woman. So she would be like, fuck you, and like throw a phone at him. So I was very accustomed to like.
How did you realize he wasn't respecting her? Like,
he would like hit her, and my mom would hit him back. You know, it's like very like
just toxic.
Yeah, and it was like my dad would like tell me like, because I was the firstborn, he would be like, you know, women are shitty. Like, you don't want to be friends with women. Like, I don't think he accepted I was a woman for the first 18 years of my life. Because he would like talk to me about like women are the worst. Like, you shouldn't be friends with women or not. Like, he hates women.
That's a dad. I mean, he probably was raised, grew up in the 50s, 60s, 70s, like those. That generation really imprinted some shit on us that we're just digging ourselves out of. I mean, they're all part of like the boys club. That's like women. Well, I mean, I kind of grew up in misogynistic in a way, and I'm not like a white knight now. Like, oh, women are precious. Like, I'm an equal person now. Like I respect the individual. I definitely give you the benefit of the doubt, but I've had to bite my tongue and not use bitch as much, and not, what I mean? Like simple things, but I'm trying not to overdo it, because I just see how ingenuine it is when people are like overdoing it on one side. It's like, bro, you're just trying to get laid. Like, chill out. You know what I mean?
Did you have only brothers?
I had a sister and a mom. So I wasn't even.
Yeah, you should be great with women then. I feel like men, because my dad was raised by a dad, and he had only brothers, and they had a mom, but the mom was very subservient, and so that's where he kind of learned this, like, because I think men that are raised by like strong, independent women tend to be very respectful of women. And then men who are raised by predominantly men, or like have a mother figure who like didn't work or like wasn't strong, like they have a negative view of women. They think all women are like that. And I've had issues dating because like I've only mostly had successful relationships with guys who didn't have a father growing up, because their mom was like a strong woman, and they're like, even the dude I'm dating now, like, his dad left when he was super young, and he's very receptive of my strength. And then I've dated a couple guys who kind of were the opposite and had a mom that wasn't respectable, and they were like, it's just not a compatible relationship for me.
So that's really interesting. And you do have a point that, because being raised by just a mom and having a sister, it's not like I was shitting on women. I love my guy sports time, my guy, and Trump ruined the locker room kind of tag, but your typical locker room talk where like guys are, we would have this circle where all the baseball, we'd be stretching in a circle, and guys would just talk bullshit to each other. So like that, guys, just when you put us all together, will just talk so much shit in one direction, but would never sort of treat, we would still want to treat the women well, because why would you not want a happy woman, happy wife, happy life, all that bullshit.
Well, because my vibe from you is that you actually have more feminine energy than masculine energy to me, and
it's part of my weathered look that I have.
Your weathered look, your weathered face, your soft features have just been weathered.
You have
feminine energy, like probably because you were raised by a mom and a sister. You kind of felt like they didn't understand everything about you, so you got a relief talking to guys, being like, "Oh, they're doing this, they're doing that." You probably like vented to dudes because you're like,
"Wow, that's like so." I never looked at it that way.
But I think that you probably get along with women very well. Like I'm sure you can probably successfully have female friendships.
I can flame out real fast. Like I can be a gay best friend to somebody for sure.
Right. Yeah. But like, do you have like female friends? Like,
some of my best
friends are women.
Yes, but I also like my friend Patsy is one of my best friends. But I do have like amazing male friends too.
Because you crave that. I'm not
threatened by like having a woman. Like I can go in either direction. But I can totally be more like I can be genuine with myself and not put up this like masculine like act brave. It's like no, I cry watching happy and sad things all the time.
I think honestly the most well-adjusted men I've dated and met are dudes that were raised by single moms and sisters. Like
so men are just fucking things up.
I mean, I don't think that. I just think that like for some reason that's just what I've noticed. Like, and all those dudes that I mentioned that were raised by single moms and had sisters are like you, where they have great male relationships. They have really great friendships with men, but they also have the ability to be friends with women. Guys who were not raised in that situation literally don't know how to be friends with women.
You're right. They see women as like a skin suit to fuck.
100%. Like, they don't know. think of them as anything more than that. They don't have that ability. It's very strange.
We've interacted with some of these dudes online when like Tasha posted a pro Bernie Sanders Instagram photo a couple of years ago, and like some dude went off on her. And it was like, whoa. And we looked, and like this dude was like coach of a football team. He had a daughter, and it's like this dude is like passing down a lot of bullshit to the next generation, and you can't grow as a people till like you just say no at that level, you know. And we might have gotten to him. Like we actually ended up having. You should never like talk to these trolls, but we actually ended up like humanizing a lot of the things he was saying and being like, yeah, like this is why this is not good. You can't just like shame. Like he basically was like telling Tasha she wasn't hot enough to have a voice.
Right.
Like, whoa.
Well, and like you as a guy, like coming from your background, you understand that's wrong. And I honestly think, people were talking about the divorce rate being such a bad thing, but I think that a lot of the change happening now is because there's men coming into power that were raised in similar circumstances as you. They're coming from a place of understanding and compassion, and they're not so one-sided. And I think it is attributed to the divorce rate and single moms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, but your parents stayed together. So how are you fucked up?
I mean, I've worked on a lot. I've gone to like a lot of therapy to like I used to, not anymore. Definitely. Well, so
where do your red flags show up in a relationship?
Right.
What are you doing? That's kind of like, oh boy, I'm kind of. Because to be honest, you're a good case study because you're the firstborn female, and I've done a lot of research because my girlfriend and a lot of other people that I know that are firstborn females are counterdependent. What does counterdependent mean? So it's the same thing as codependent. It's just in the other. It's just the pull instead of the push. So if I'm fighting with Tasha, I want to continue to push towards her to be like, let's figure it out, and she's drawing away. So she needs to be alone in a room where I need to hug. Sometimes. So two counterdependent people can't stay together. They'll just both fuck off. Fuck you, peace, and they're out. But two codependent people can be like super nurturing, and a codependent and a counterdependent, it's kind of like a yin yang. Like Tasha's so willing to run away from fights and not address things that she needs someone to kind of like keep running towards her in a way that's healthy. I've had to learn to back away in those sort of heated moments and not try to like get too close. Because it's like I've had to learn that my way that works for me, it doesn't work for her. So, do you know if your boyfriend is... Most guys in this industry, I think, are codependent because, they say like men were hugged too much and women weren't hugged enough. That's the main reason like we're all fucked up.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's like that's like a very simple way to put it. But I think like by needing affirmations, you're dependent on other people. So that's like by needing affirmations on stage, by needing an audience to like you. And even the comics that go, fuck the audience, I don't care. It's like...
they're the ones that need it the most.
Yeah.
They're the ones... There's a comic that comes to mind. You probably know him, who is very dismissive of audiences and, never thinks that him doing bad has anything to do with him. It has to do with the audience. And it's like, I know... His
mechanism to protect himself.
Right. Because he is so sensitive. And, like, he gets home and he, like, makes fun of, like, comics and, like, blah, blah, blah. But I know that I know him as a person, and, like, when he gets home, he fucking cries and has, like, mental breakdowns. And I'm just, like, the one who... If I said who this person is, you'd be like, oh, shit. And then you're like, oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, man.
Because I know you know who he is. But
when I think of guys like that, or women or whatever, I just think of, fuck, man, you don't know how gentle we all are. And like, there's this one guy who's a fucking psycho, and I won't ever I barely want to like make eye contact with this dude. You probably don't know who he is, but I genuinely thought he was a good guy, and it scares me that some people are so, I don't know, just not there. Right. And so this image that people show you
like
person,
sociopathic.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm turning 33 soon. And
when's your birthday?
May 1st. So I'm getting there, Taurus. I know exactly what I need to maintain my sanity. I go on, like today I'm going to go on I'm so pumped. I'm going on like a 7 or 8 mile run. It's going to be amazing. I'm just going to put one of my favorite podcasts on and just zoom out. Not myself, not my own podcast. I don't listen to this shit. Some people do. Some people listen to themselves when they travel. That's weird. But I know exactly what I need for myself. And I think a lot of people don't know what they need to just give themselves, like, what's your grounding thing that you have that kind of keeps you from like going batshit in this world?
I mean, I definitely like to be in nature. I would say that that's like a major thing. Like I go to the like Hollywood dog park with my dogs all the time. I get out into nature. That's kind of like I kind of can reset. I was like starting to smoke weed and now I'm trying to get off of it. I was like sober for this last week and then my friend gave me a bath bomb that had CBD in it that also THC. And I've done the CBD ones because I have chronic like muscle tension pain and yesterday I did it and the THC was like super high and I'm still fucked up.
So it's the bath bomb fizzles, and then you're just absorbing the weed.
Yeah. Wow. It was like, but it's usually CBD, which is not psychoactive. It's just like relaxes your muscles. And so last night I had THC and I'm still like fucked up from it. I can feel it's the worst.
That's what's interesting is, there's a lot of weed out there that if you do the right thing for you, like there's I was smoking not a lot. I mean, I never smoked for the first time when I was like 23, and then I never even knew how to pack a bowl till like this year. I wasn't a weed guy. But what I've realized is there is like a very mellow dose that I like, and I was smoking the wrong thing once, and I had to show at the Dime Bar, which is a small, tiny, no harm place, but like Damon Wayans was on stage and I walked in and the room was completely packed and I started like freaking out. By all means, my freak out's probably like I was probably still cool, but in my head I was like, fuck, like what have I done? I can't handle this. I can't, like my whole comedy life was like flashing before my eyes because I was high and there was like this like killer black comic on stage.
Yeah, it was probably like a sativa thing, right?
Yeah, it was sativa.
Yeah.
So sativa causes anxiety?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And that was last night. That bath bomb was called Awaken.
Oh.
And so
your just processes are just fucking juiced.
Like I'm fucked up right now. I typically do when I did smoke. This was like literally as of a week ago. Back when I smoked in the day, back in
my day,
back in early March. Back 2 weeks ago. I was primarily indicas, and then CBD is calms you down. But I'm trying to just get back down to just having nothing because I definitely did not like. I just don't like to feel like what you're saying. Like you're in that situation where you're on a show and you're like, fuck, I'm not optimal because of this thing. And it's a constant balancing act when you're doing any sort of drug. You know, you're I have too much. I don't have enough. It's like, it's very hard to hit that perfect amount at the right exact time.
Yeah. I've gotten high on shows that don't matter and it hit me. Like I had an edible and it was like a fucking crazy experience. Don't remember what happened. Saved it as like high. I like saved it in my phone as like high. And I never listened to it
because you're just afraid.
I was like, so it hit me mid set, and then I booked a job from the audience of that show. Like I booked it on the way out the door, and like if I was sober, they probably still would have like whatever I said was like fit into what they needed, know. But I was like, what the fuck? I don't know. Me, it's more like after the set, just like chill out, try to go from that high to back to.
But then you have a withdrawal. Like I noticed that if I don't smoke every 24 hours, at the 24-hour mark, I start experiencing withdrawal symptoms.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Which are like what?
I started having issues like talking. I get like withdrawn from people. Like I have issues.
Are you in your withdrawals right now? Withdrawals?
Do I seem like it?
No. I'm just asking because you had the bath bomb yesterday.
Yeah.
Are you still high?
I'm definitely like a little bit because I was so amped last night. I was so amped, bro. I have a sleep vape that's like an indica. I had to vape to fall asleep. I was so fucked up. It was like 3 a.m. I couldn't fall asleep.
Interesting.
And I had the bath bomb at 5 p.m.
Wow.
So
and it just comes down to like figuring out what works for you.
Yeah, I just want to get off 100% and like get back to being sober because I was basically sober my whole life, and then I started. My best friend, she's like super into weed, and she's
talking sober just with weed or alcohol?
Everything.
Too? Everything.
Yeah, I don't drink
when
right
now. When did you
now.
drink first?
Probably when I was like, I didn't start drinking until I was like literally 21, 22.
Really?
I didn't start drinking until I was 22. And then
you moved to LA and wasn't having a drink?
And I think that's why
cheap date.
I know. I think that's why I've been pretty unaffected by everything because I've never done coke before. I did meth once by accident. It was the worst.
I love that you're like, I'm not drinking or smoking. I did meth once.
No, but it wasn't on purpose. I drank this punch and it had meth and I had no idea.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
What did that do to you?
It was literally, have you done meth before? It's
no,
the worst.
The fuck I've never done coke either. And I've kind of been like, I really think I should try it, but
coke. Well, but I've never done coke before because I read an article that said that like 5% of people the first time they do cocaine die.
Yeah, they punch a hole in their heart or something.
Their heart, yeah, it like fucks you up. So that's like, why? What's the point?
I'm a big I drink C4. It's this like pre-workout drink, but I literally cut it in half because my skin will itch and I'll way outperform what my body should be doing. Like I run up the Silver Lake Hills and if I have a full C4 like surfing, I'll just run up all the hills and I'm like, this, my heart cannot at my like should not be doing this.
Yeah.
But so like I got like, and then afterwards I'll just be sitting there like hours later, just heart still racing. I'm like, there's no off button for this shit.
No,
but
it's not good for you.
But although on stage, a lot of those improvs have like a little Red Bull in the green room, a little Red Bull like shelf, whatever. And I would have like a sugar-free Red Bull and then go on stage. And it's like, bro, that's why I started smoking a little bit of weed because the adrenaline you get on stage is enough to kind of give you the energy for the room. And I was coming on stage hot, like sweating and fucking ready to talk to people. And like, that's not the energy the audience is in.
It's a commercial. Red Bull gives you wings.
Gives you wings and like scares the audience. And that's what it was doing. But
you just jump off the stage.
I literally am just like, oh, you can get dizzy if you're too much in that.
Yeah.
So like, but my withdrawal is from sugar. And I had like I said, with family in town, we ate a lot of fucking pastries and just a lot of carbs this weekend.
I love carbs.
Yeah, so that's my thing is starting. I think this morning I had a pastry while they were still here, but we'll wrap up in a second.
Have you been? No, I was putting lip gloss.
Oh, okay.
On.
I thought you were looking.
You have me on camera.
You're gonna look great. We'll slap a little filter on it.
Oh,
It'll be good.
God.
You like that ring light?
Yeah, it's pretty fucking intense.
That ring light is pretty dope. My girlfriend bought it for me, but I think she uses it more. But it's a good, like, you can blast shit on
We
that.
bought it for our amateur porn shoots.
Yeah.
And
now, she will not let me film her.
You've asked?
Oh, fuck yeah.
Really?
I can't tell you
That's so funny.
How easy girls would offer up images or video of themselves in the past. And something about she grew up with a family that was normal. That she's like not. No, she's... Guys, I don't know.
My dude I'm dating now won't send me a dick pic.
Have you requested one?
I've requested several.
Do you just flat out pomegranate emoji or what? How do you?
No, I was like, I want one. I'll try to take a photo of him and he won't let me.
When you were on the road?
What?
Like you're saying you wanted one when you were
I just
away.
wanted one to look at it.
Really?
Because it's amazing. And he's
I think
no.
I think my chick would be disgusted. In fact,
Really?
I should send her a dick pic and secretly videotape her response just to show. She'd be like, what the fuck is this? You know what I mean? I don't know.
He won't send it, and because he's like, no, he's like, you have to see me to get this dick, and I was just like, oh, I love you.
How long have you been dating?
2 years.
2 years. That's a decade for comedians.
Yeah, I know.
Does he do stand up as well, or is
No.
he just on the business side? That's kind of nice.
It's the best because he's not competitive.
Is he the dude from Arizona? No. It's not that. It's not that guy. Huh. Anyway, that's good that you've kind of got something. I mean, do you still get hit on? I know for women it's a problem in the stand-up community, like just being sort of when targeted.
I wasn't, and then we broke up for like 2 months, and everyone found out, and it was like the wolves came out, dude.
They knew.
This was in the fall, and I was just like, what the fuck? I finally understood what female comics were talking about because everyone knows him, and he's like. He's a big,
why bother you if you're taken?
He's a big dude, and but people know he's a booker, so they didn't want to make him mad.
Right.
Like, so it was like the perfect level of like, oh, it's like Sarah Weinshank, her boyfriend runs talent. Is Adam? He runs comedy.
She's dating Adam.
They've been together for like 4 years.
Yeah, see, I'm so far out of that world.
So like, no one's mean to Sarah. No one's ever hits on her, like because they don't want
to bitch to her.
What?
I just told her off.
You did?
No, I'm kidding.
Like
she
no one's
seems
mean to
sweet,
her.
though.
No one hits on her because they don't want to make Adam upset. You know, so it's kind of a similar thing.
But wouldn't people say that that's annoying, that you have to be dating a man of power to like feel like safe from the vultures?
Well, yeah, because I didn't even know that was a thing. I just thought that's how people treated me, with respect, and then we broke up, and it was the worst. It was the worst.
So you dated him pretty early on. You started dating him pretty
like
early on in your
3 months into doing comedy. We started dating, and so we broke up, and I was just like, oh my god.
Why'd you break up?
It's like dumb. It's a dumb story. It's just like this dumb. Yeah.
Was it something that you both like learned from?
No, it was
a communication mistake.
It was like basically there was a dude who was trying to date me and like was really aggressive about it, and Chris found out and like got upset. He got upset, and then we broke up. And I was like, I don't want to date him. Like, you know, it was just like basically because I think what happens when you're dating someone, everyone kind of sits back and it's like, okay, well, they'll break up soon.
Right.
And then a couple years go by and they're like, oh, they're not breaking up. And then there's some people who are like, well, I'm going to make them break up because I want to date this
and you
person.
think that's what that guy was doing?
No, I know that's what he was doing. He told me.
Were you not good enough at striking that down? Not that it's your job.
Yeah, I have issues saying no to people. Yeah. And like, I'm working on that.
You're a people pleaser. It's common. Who's not trying to?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. So like, what did you learn for the next time strong dude's like not taking no for an answer?
I know the person I've been. It's so funny.
Which, by the way, I just, as a guy in this modern world, I feel bad even saying it like it's your problem. Do you know what I mean? But it's like you can't control that there's gonna be savages out there. Well, they shouldn't be savage, but the men shouldn't. Right? Like he shouldn't be a savage. He shouldn't be hitting on. You should be respectful. But like, what's your self defense?
Like I've had guys be so aggressive, like guys who have, and the main issues when dudes though are like came from money. Those guys seem to be like they can't take no. Like this dude particularly was a billionaire. He was an heir to like a huge fortune.
Jeez.
And then there's been like two other guys in that same kind of time that were like trying to like buy me away. Like they're like, you know, like I'll give you 10 grand a month. And I'm just like,
fuck.
I know.
Tasha would take that in a second.
Yeah,
she'd be like, bye, Dave.
Like I'll give you 10 grand a month, like, and whatever you want when you go. I'm like, they would try to like, I'll give you whatever money you want on the road. I'm just like, I'm okay. And like
to date you.
Yeah, and like Chris, fuck. The
guy I can bleep his name out. You said it twice.
The guy I'm dating, like he's not in. I mean, he has like a normal job. Like he is like drives like a Honda. Like it's not like, you know, he's by any means like in that world of
there's dudes
competing.
listening in their Honda right now. I'm like, fuck, what's wrong with Honda?
I know.
Just like bombing around in their Honda accent.
Well, he's just like a great guy, and he makes me feel good, and he makes me feel like.
And what's more important than that?
Yeah.
What's 10 grand gonna do if you got to deal with some like
a month
dude who's willing to pay you 10 grand? What's happened then to the next chick who we can pay 9 grand to?
Exactly. What time when she gets undercut? Well, I also like those guys like. I just know that they're gonna try to control you, and like I've never been in a position where I've been like supported by a dude. I've dated a guy once who was super successful, and we lived together for 3 months, and like he gave me a credit card and was like, whatever you want to buy on this card, I don't care. I don't even check my statements.
Jeez. Oh my, I couldn't imagine.
Yeah. And I literally, the only thing I bought on that credit card was dog food for our dogs, because he had a dog and I had a dog at the time. And so, yeah, like I didn't even
abused that real fast.
I know. Now looking back at it, I'm like, man, because I mean, since I've had like jobs.
You don't want to. There's the other thing too is when someone gives you something, there is an expectation of something in return.
I mean, we lived together. He wanted to get married and like was like trying to like talk me into having kids, and I was just like, bruh. I was like 23.
Wow.
22.
Dude, when a dude finds what he likes, though, that's how you know when you're like, oh shit, I'm willing to do things I wouldn't have done before.
Well, like, especially guys like that, because they're like, that dude was a self-made. This one was a self-made billionaire. So like those kind of guys, I don't have issues with like normal dudes hitting on me. The issue is like with guys who came from a shit ton of money, who don't know the word no, like they don't understand. They literally
just
can't
throw money at their proms.
And when you say I'm not interested, then they throw temper tantrums.
Yeah.
Like they literally throw like they're toddlers. They're like, why? Blah, blah. They get
rejection
angry.
is such a beautiful thing to learn.
But they can't.
Yeah.
Like these guys, like,
well, because they just go on to the next thing.
So there's the heirs that have that attitude, and then there's the other guys who are self-made, super successful that are like, oh, you say no, well then I just need to try a different angle. So then you become like a thing they're trying to achieve. So,
but has a guy ever won you over that way? Like, have you ever said no to a guy and he's been like, no, I think I like you and I think you're worth pursuing? Because there is something to be said for a guy who's willing to pursue you, even if you dismiss him up front.
Well, yeah, because I have issues saying no. And so, like, that dude, you know, like the one that I dated a couple years ago that I lived with, like, I didn't really want to date him anymore. I felt like he was very, like, verbally abusive. Like, he would tell me I was fat, and I'm not fat. I'm very, like, I know now I'm, like, I'm thin. Like, I was a model. Like, he would tell me I was fat, and like he would like tell me I was ugly. He'd be like, you know, you're not most guys' physical type. Like,
holy shit,
most guys aren't attracted to you. Like, he was like so, but it's because he was using a tactic to like make me dependent on him because he knew that he didn't want me to leave. So it's like he mentally abused me.
Yeah, he couldn't have you under the normal merit of just being a good guy.
Well, because he knew that he was going to be more successful in keeping me. Because, like, you know, because if I was completely secluded from everybody and only dependent. And so, like, when we broke up, it was on national TV at a Clippers game on the floor because he had floor seats. And I was like, dude, because I would try to leave. I would break up.
You broke up on the floor of the game?
It was the only way I could do it because I was like, I had
to get your candy tray first?
Dude, it was on TV during, like, a finals game of the Clippers.
Do you have footage of this?
There's footage on the internet, yeah. Like, because I knew the only way we could break up, because I would try to leave all the time. I was like, I'm done, I'm leaving, and I would leave. And
did you wait for like the kiss cam? Did you do it like at that moment?
No, I mean, dude, it was like on the floor during a timeout.
Really?
But so I knew that he wouldn't.
How unrelatable! I broke up on the floor of the game. There's some dude in like the third level breaking.
No,
up.
but I poured a beer on his head.
What?
Yeah, and I recorded it and put it on the internet because I knew.
All right, we're gonna have to Google that.
I knew the only way that we could break up. And we're friends now, but the only way we could break up was if he didn't want to be with me anymore because he would not let me leave.
But that sounds like something you say after you've done that. Like, was it a premeditated beer
Yeah, it was
pour?
premeditated because I knew.
Jesus Christ.
I was like, we were at the game and I was like, I need to leave. And he won't let me leave because I'd try breaking up so many times. I would leave and he would find me. He would like talk me into going back.
You are
like,
counter dependent. That's
really?
I'm not saying this in a bad way, but that's a kind like Tasha left me at Coachella. She didn't leave the premise, but she like left me and I had to go find her in Coachella. And I was like, the fuck, man? She hasn't thrown.
But he would like go to my apartment. This is when before we were living together, he'd go to my apartment and like not leave and like talk me into going back. Like he would call my family, like do all these things to try to like corner me to going into that
he's
thing.
Super codependent then.
Yeah. And so like basically I was like, okay, the only way I can get out of this situation is if he doesn't want to be with me. So that's why when we were at the game, it's not like I premeditated like days before. It was like literally like within 10 minutes. I was like, all right, I'm going to pour
Did
beer.
something happen in that time?
Yeah. He was like texting a girl at the game and like trying to put it in my face. Like, this girl, I could always leave you for her. Like he was trying to like mentally abuse me. And I was seeing 3 therapists a week.
Oh my gosh.
Because he kept telling me my therapists were bad, that they weren't accredited enough. I was going to one that had a master's from Columbia.
Yeah.
And like I kept finding ones that like went to Ivy League schools, and every single one of them told me I was in a mentally and verbally abusive relationship. And so there was like girls walking by and he was like, oh, I wish you were as skinny as her. Like he was like saying this stuff to me. And I was like not eating. I was like bony. I was emaciated. So then I was like, all right, I'm ending this now and I need to get the fuck out because I don't even recognize myself anymore. I became like a shell of a human. And any woman who's been in like that kind of relationship, they understand like you're not even yourself anymore. You're literally like watching yourself from outside of yourself. It's super weird. So I was like, all right, I'm going to do this. So I fucking got my camera and like, I was like, we're done. And I poured a beer on his head on the floor.
With the selfie video?
Yeah, on the floor. I poured a beer on his head and I walked across the court through the players' entrance. And people were like high-fiving me. It was like pretty fucking cool. Then I was like, fuck, he's going to murder me. So I got an Uber home. I called my mom and I was like, I just broke up with Taryn. Like literally, he might kill me. So if you don't hear from me, just know that he murdered me.
Your poor mother.
Yeah, because he's an alcoholic, so he would get like super like blackout. Like he would like attack people. He would just attack random people, and then he would black out, and then his driver would like put him in a Rolls Royce and bring him home. Like he was like insane. And so, but he's a genius. He was so smart. He was super smart, and super great at sex. So it's like, you know, there's like some positive qualities. So like, and he was funny. He was an alcoholic, and so when he would drink, he would literally just act like it was like Jacqueline Hyde. It was so crazy.
That's scary.
So mean. He would like attack like random people and then black out and then not remember anything.
Would you feel shame that you were putting up with this? Or
yeah, of course.
I mean, but by all means, I mean, people are in abusive relationships all the time and don't realize it because they might not necessarily have like a black eye. You know what I mean? It might be like, it's almost better if you had a broken nose, because then it's like, get the fuck, like, what are we doing? You know, but like when it's abusive on the inside, you can sort of.
One, it's a slow chip.
Together. Yeah.
It's a slow chip.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about that, but
he's super smart.
You
so
rebounded.
We broke up. Oh, well, where I go to his place and I'm like packing all my stuff, putting it in garbage because I knew he was going to try to murder me when he got there. And like literally it was like the worst breakup I've ever had. Like he was like physically not letting me leave, took all my passport, my license, was like, you're not leaving. We're going to therapy. And I'm like, this is beyond therapy. Like you're still trying to fix it. He physically wouldn't let me leave.
So
and
that
it was like,
even enough.
He was like, I mean, it was just insane. And then I called the police. I was like locked in a room calling the police because he wouldn't let me call the police. The police came. Like he got physical towards me, and then he got arrested, brought him to jail. And I moved out and I went back home to Minnesota for a couple of weeks, and I get a call from like the county, and they're like, hey, we're filing domestic abuse charges because I tried calling 911 like early in the fight, and he took the phone away from me. What he thought he pressed end, but he did is press send, and so our entire fight was recorded.
Oh my god!
By 911, and it was like a 30-minute recording of him being like, "I'm gonna murder."
How fast did the police get there?
I mean, they got there within like 20 minutes.
L.A. police, they'll get there the next day.
It was in
sometimes.
Santa Monica. Like,
oh, okay, Santa Monica.
Yeah, pretty good. So they got there. I was locked. Literally, he had a knife, and I was locked in the bathroom, like crying. I thought I was gonna die. And the police came, and I was like, "How the fuck did you get here?" And they're like, "We have been on the phone for 20 minutes. We have everything recorded." And I was like, "Fuck!" So they had him like threatening to kill me and like just all this stuff. So it's so crazy because he's a genius, and that's why I still love him, because he's really. This is so fucked up and indicative of like abusive relationships.
Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, because he.
It's okay to still love someone even though if they're batshit.
No, but so like what happened was, because I didn't touch him. He was trying to get me to fight him, and I was like, I'm not fighting you, because I did MMA for like a couple years, and he was trying to get me to fight him. I'm like, I'm not engaging with you. I'm not, dude. I'm not gonna engage. He was like trying to put me in chokehold. I'm like,
because then also he could not that.
Well, he's gonna escalate the issue.
Yeah,
and I didn't want to hurt him. You know what I mean? Because I could hurt him, but I didn't want to. And like, so what's so crazy is that that the next day he got out of jail because he bailed out. Because they're like, well, the lady, when she arrested him, she was like, I was like, how long is he in jail for? She's like, oh, for at least a week. But because his bail's at $25,000. And I was like, oh, he's getting out tomorrow then. Yeah. So I need to get the fuck out, dude. He bailed out by like 6 a.m. apparently. And when the police went to go take his statement, apparently, because he told me this 6 months later when we got dinner together to discuss everything after this whole breakup, he told me, he's like, I have a confession. He's like, it's really funny. And I was like, what? He's like, okay. He's like, when I got out of jail, I went to my office. He has a big office building. I went to my office, and while the police were coming to do my statement and take photos, I, for 20 minutes, took paperweights and hit my legs to make it look like you were kicking me. And I was just like, wow. So what happened was I know, dude. I was like, oh, but that's smart, dude. I wouldn't have thought of that. You know what I mean?
It's smart, but that's fucking insane.
I mean, it's insane, but I was like, oh, like this is why you're a genius. You know what I mean? He's one of the number one Wall Street dudes like in the world.
That hurts my knee thinking of this dude.
He literally took paperweights and hit his legs over and over and over so that he had bruises, so it looked like I attacked him. So like,
it's like the movie Liar Liar when Jim Carrey's in the bathroom just hitting his head with a toilet.
Yeah, because he has like the best lawyer. So like that's apparently his lawyer's like, you need to make it look like you were she attacked you. So what happened was that the county, because they called me and they're like, we're filing domestic abuse charges against him. And I was like, no, I don't want to be a part of this. Like, well, you don't have a choice. And I was like, no, you don't know him. Like, he's insane. Like, I love him, but he's gonna beat you. Like, I don't care. You're the government. Like, he's gonna beat you. They're like, well, we're charging him regardless, and apparently in the state of California, the government decides whether they charge someone for domestic abuse.
Probably good.
It's not the woman's choice.
That's good though.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Because
women,
most women are even if they're in
abusive, they don't know, they don't want to fight. So the woman was like, we're filing charges against him. This is like the 6th case in Santa Monica alone that's happened. So it's like happened apparently to a bunch of other women with him.
No shit.
Yeah, that's what they told me. And I was like, I was like,
when that happens, it's like you're not just. Even though you might be safe, there's going to be another victim.
Right.
And another victim.
So, and I guess that's probably why he knew to do this, because I guess it's happened before. But so anyway, I was like, all right, well, I don't want to be a part of this, but good luck. I get a call a week later and they're like, hey, we're dropping the case. And I was like, oh yeah, why? They're like, because he has all this evidence turning it on you. And I was like, really? I'm like, yeah, he has all this evidence that makes it look like you were the one that assaulted him. And I was just like, okay.
It sounds like a Gossip Girl.
Which is
episode.
when then 6 months later, when we got dinner, he was like, okay, I'm gonna tell you what happened. I got the paperweights and I was like, oh fuck. So that was the evidence that they were able to turn it around.
If you're listening to this
How crazy
podcast and you're dating this dude we're describing now, get out. Go. We got to get out of here. We're at 70 minutes.
Oh, okay, cool.
Thanks so much for doing the podcast.
My pleasure.
If everyone is listening, if you loved this story, share it with your friend. We keep on getting great positive reviews, but the new iTunes algorithm is subscribers. So reviews are great, but they don't matter. So we need subscribers. So if you subscribed on your iPhone, go subscribe on your iPad too. Grab your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your daughters, whatever. Hit the subscribe button. And also, you have the Morbid Report.
Yeah,
That's yours.
I have a podcast on iTunes called The Morbid Report. I talk about weird news stories. And then you can follow me on Instagram at Vanessa V. Johnston and Twitter at Vanessa Johnston with 2 O's.
And go listen to her. You've got good NPR voice. I'm sure the Morbid Report's nice.
I'm trying to do it consistently. I hate doing podcasts.
Subscribe to her podcast. Go drop a CBD bomb in the bath, and just catch up on some episodes. Right?
I just got a weird DM on my Instagram. This guy said, "How much for a picture of your ankle? Nothing weird."
Should start with nothing weird. That sounds weird enough. Yeah. How much though? What's it going rate?
I don't know.
10,000?
Ankle prices.
Thanks for doing the podcast today.
My pleasure.
Come back anytime. Everyone, Vanessa Johnston, go support her, subscribe to her podcast, follow her online, leave her comment on her Instagram, let her know you listen to her here on the SAP. Thank you. Bye, everybody.